Hello and welcome to another episode of I didn't get a chance to do the grocery shopping I needed to. In today's episode, we're cooking one of my favorite, simplest dishes of all time, JajaMyeon, which is a Chinese Korean black bean noodle dish. We're doing it unofficially with a lot of ingredients that normally I would not use. That doesn't typically get used for JajaMyeon. It's typically done with potato. It's done with whatever kind of meat you want. But more importantly, zucchini in the actual thing. I don't have any zucchini right now. I just have green beans because, like I said earlier, I didn't actually do any grocery shopping yet today. The plans got changed around a little bit. I have to go grocery shopping after this. So I'm using what I can, and you know what? This is one of my favorite recipes for that exact reason, is that you can really have leftovers here, and it's going to taste delicious. Now, it is a Chinese Korean dish, JajaMyeon, which in Chinese, it's JajaMyeon. In Korean, I believe, I'm not pronouncing this properly, but it's called JajaMyeon. Fundamentally the exact same thing, slightly different regional tastes and all that kind of stuff. I like the Korean version because it's a little bit sweeter than the Chinese version. And that's, appealing to me. I think the flavors are a little bit nicer. They're a little bit more mellow from the black bean side of things. So if you've never tried JajaMyeon or anything like that, just know that to me, like, the Chinese version is a lot more hardcore. Versus the Korean version, which is a little bit more palatable for majority of flavors. So we'll do that. We're not using the official ingredients. The official ingredients typically end up being onion, zucchini, potato, pork, as well as noodles. And the black bean sauce, of course, which is just the black bean paste is just this with a little bit more liquid and all that kind of stuff. So super easy recipe. It's actually going to be super fast. So I'm actually going to spend a little bit more time today talking during the prep period about the actual topic at hand, which is nutrition for video games. For those of you that do not know, I am a big gamer, always have been, and have been bullied for it quite a bit. But as recently as like 2 years ago. And one of the biggest things is through my journey over the past few years, I've learned to really lean into the aspects of my hobbies that I really enjoy. And that being said, this week is one of my games that I have a love-hate relationship with. It's Destiny 2. For those of you that play Destiny 2, you'll know exactly why. Shoutouts to my clan, High Command Reborn. They are the best clan ever. You guys are awesome. You all are awesome. And, I forgot to mention too, happy Pride Month. June is Pride Month, so happy Pride Month to everyone that celebrates and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't, just keep your hatred and bigotry to yourself. Just like, happy Pride to all those that celebrate it, to all my friends and family that are LGBTQ. Happy Pride Month. This month is for you. So what we're doing today is nutrition in video games because, believe it or not, I really like the fact that Destiny 2 is very pride, trans, and gay friendly. They're very friendly in that. And actually, I believe a lot of their newest campaign, which is the Final Shape, has a lot to do with LGBTQ politics and all that kind of stuff. And I really like that they wove it into the storyline. So I paid attention to it. I see it a lot in their stuff. I'm not going to talk too much about the storyline. Just finished the campaign like about an hour ago, 2 hours ago. It's very clear to me how LGBTQ politics have influenced the story, and I think that's really cool. I think it's really good. But I'm not spoiling anything here. But the whole point of this is that for those of you that game and are hardcore gamers, you will typically find yourself in situations where you prioritize, or at least the majority of gamers I work with clients and all that kind of stuff. And yes, I do work with gamers. that the nutrition is very, very difficult for them because it's not their top priority. What their top priority is gaming and grinding out and all that kind of stuff, leveling up, doing whatever you're doing in whatever game you're doing, right? For those of us that are playing Destiny 2, the top priority right now is finishing the campaign, doing the exotic quest, being prepared for the raid coming up this weekend because it is the final raid race in this 10-year life cycle. I can't believe I've been playing this game for about 10 years, and it all comes to a conclusion this weekend. So I'm very, very excited. I have my raid team set up, ready to go, and yeah, couldn't be more happy to be engaging in this kind of thing. Now, but that being said, it's very, very important that if you're competing and doing the contest mode this weekend for the upcoming raid, that you kind of take your nutrition in consideration, right? Because especially for me and my clan and all that kind of stuff, the majority gamers now are like 30 to like 45. Like the biggest chunk of gamers are that, right? There are people like me, millennials that grew up with video games, that have continued that hobby well until their adulthood and really, really have fun with it. So one of the biggest things I see now, especially with myself, is how my video game function and performance and all that kind of stuff really, really hinders if I deviate from my normal schedule from eating. Right? And this is really, really hard because sometimes you're just, oh, I want to do one more mission. I want to do this. I want to do this. And you're just like a little bit of an addict. But, one of the best things to do is actually be able to continue eating like you normally would to allow your body to function most optimally, right? Now, the funny thing is, yes, the tagline is this is for gamers, but really this applies to anyone that has a largely sedentary job, a work from home job like myself and all that kind of stuff. The nutrition doesn't change very, very much because fundamentally you're doing the exact same things. Instead of just using fingers, you're using thumbs. If you're using on controller, if you're mouse and keyboard and your PC Master Race, then of course you got your going on with your keyboard and your controllers, your whole W key as a Titan kind of thing, right? So, but that being said, the reason why this is important is because a lot of people believe that they do not need to eat unless they're physically active or moving, that food is fuel for the movement. The reality is food is fuel for your entire body. It keeps your basic metabolic system active, your metabolism. It does a whole bunch of things, hormonal changes, all that kind of stuff. Food supports your life, right? The way I best explain it to a lot of gamers is like not eating is like a debuff, and eating is just like in most survival games, eating properly allows you to function optimally. So that's what we're really going to do. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit today and celebrate Pride, of course. So happy Pride again. For video games, one of the biggest things to keep in mind is you're not doing anything different than normal, right? I treat it like a rest day. So realistically, this is like a rest day nutrition plan, all that kind of stuff. What do you do when there's minimal amounts of movement in your day? Same thing as a work from home day with no physical activity. Your body still needs calories in order to function. And more importantly, how those calories are distributed will allow your body to function very, very well. Now, depending on, this is all relative to when you wake up. Usually, I recommend gamers and people that have sedentary jobs to eat breakfast within an hour or two of waking up. The reason why this is important is because it gets your base metabolic rate started. It gets your metabolism going. It gets your body burning fat right off the get-go. But more importantly, it stabilizes your hormones. In fact, gamers that skip breakfast typically typically are engaged in more snacking behaviors at nighttime, right after dinner. That's when they're finding themselves really uncontrollably snacking, and that's not really great because what happens is when we're snacking past a certain point in time, we really want to control the amount of carbohydrates we have. Because what happens is your body's hormonal functions shift from daytime to night. During the day, during the circadian rhythm, thanks to the circadian rhythm, what happens is your body's better able to tolerate carbohydrates, and compared to nighttime. At nighttime, when it's having carbohydrates, it's because your body is not functioning well. If you're craving carbohydrates, it's a reflection of not eating properly throughout the day. So eating breakfast within an hour or two waking up, separating your meals and snacks by about 3 to 4 hours each, specifically focusing on protein to keep everything level, will allow your body to function more optimally at nighttime for when, of course, gaming sessions go really, really hard into the evening. So what I would definitely recommend is meal timing. Gamers pay attention to. You need to basically rebuff yourself every 3 to 4 hours regards to food, and of course you want to be able to eat in a way that takes your physical activity or mobility into consideration. Now, if you're like me that likes to do squats and like jumping jacks and all that kind of stuff between loading screens just to get some movement, then you might be eating a little bit more differently. But for the general population, this is what we're looking for. Now, the other thing you want to take into consideration too is the more you prep before your big gaming day, the more food you have available, the more time you can return to gaming. So in many, many ways, this is kind of like a work day where you don't have that much time to cook throughout the day, and you want to be able to eat well and for your nutritional goals, right? Because the reality is, like I said, most millennials like me are starting to experience different things that are happening with their body. Either their metabolism is slowing down, they're starting to see some weight gain, everything's like happening not the way they want it to, and of course they want to prioritize their nutrition, but not sacrifice their hobbies like their video games and all that kind of stuff. So this is one of the meals I'm going to be making and cooking, and this is a meal that I cook for myself really, really quickly after a good gaming session or during a good gaming session, depending on how much time the fire team decides to take a break for, and all that kind of stuff. But one of the biggest things is before the actual day, having a lot of food prepared, ready to go, is a good strategy, because sometimes you're so engaged in the gaming, you forget what time it is, you're a little bit dysregulated, you're not eating properly, yada yada, all that kind of stuff. So what we're gonna do right now, whoa, we got 4 people right now, we got 7 views, that's great. Can I get a hello in chat for those of you that are watching right now? Welcome, and welcome to the stream. I hope you're gonna learn something from today. Like I said, I'm making JajaMyeon. It's very, very easy stuff. But going back to the nutrition. So breakfast typically within an hour of waking up, hour or two of waking up, making sure that you have enough protein at your breakfast. This is one of the biggest concerns I have for people in general. We're going to have to do a stream entirely on breakfast foods and optimizing what breakfast looks like and what the importance of that is. But for now, I want you to focus on enough proteins at breakfast to help stabilize blood sugars and your hormones for the rest of the day. Then your meals and snacks separate by 3 to 4 hours. Your lunch should have a little bit of carbohydrates in it, because remember, when you're gaming, you're using a lot of brain power, right? You're figuring out puzzles, you're figuring out mechanics, you're doing all that kind of stuff, you're communicating. Your body's using carbohydrates, your brain is, but how much carbohydrates do you need? That's the biggest thing. You have to make that into consideration. You have to modify that. But the reason why I bring that up is because the majority of people actually end up skipping carbs at lunchtime, right? Typical salad and chicken, all that kind of stuff. And this is, like, in my opinion, a very, very bad idea, because you need carbs in the middle of the day. Your body's going to tolerate that. Your mind's going to tolerate that. Hormones are going to tolerate that much, much better. Then having a snack about 3 to 4 hours later, one that you can consume pretty well. And if, for example, if you're not planning to stop or anything like that, having a smoothie prepared ahead of time with enough protein, enough fruits, enough vegetables in it will be a great, great fast way of getting a lot of nutrition in for if you want to reprioritize, get back to the gaming session, right? So always keep that in mind. Smoothies are a good meal replacement alternative for gamers in that kind of situation. Now, when it gets to, for example, I'm going to break down this weekend what's going to happen. So Friday, the raid starts at about 12. So what I plan to do is wake up in the morning, have my breakfast, do my workout, eat a good lunch to recover from my workout in the morning, and then I'm going to be sitting basically the rest of the day. I'm going to have a lot of food prepared up already, cooked up already. JajaMyeon is going to be one of those foods, so that I can reheat, eat, join back up to the fire team, get back to raiding, get back to playing video games, all that kind of stuff, right? So having food prepared and then also having a whole bunch of high protein snacks at nighttime is very, very important. The later you game, your body will typically reactivate your appetite signaling and all that kind of stuff. So what you want to do is be able to choose healthier, lower carb snacks, not lower carb snacks, so like protein based snacks if possible. Vegetable based snacks like carrots and hummus is a great idea later at nighttime, all that kind of stuff. So that's a lot to take in, but that's what I'm going to do this weekend is basically have a lot of food prepared, meet up with my fire team. We're going to game. We're going to agree on which times we're going to take breaks for how long, because of course that is very, very important unless you're doing world's first or anything like that. This is just for like long gaming sessions for a lot of the gamers that really enjoy it, right? So keep that in mind. You want to make sure you eat every 3 to 4 hours, keep your basal metabolic rate going, have snacks ready to go, and have alternatives to foods ready to go. One of the biggest challenges too is you want to be nice to your fire team, your fellow gamers and all that kind of stuff, and mute yourself if you are eating, and make sure you communicate, right? I remember, and this guy's a piece of work, but like when I was doing the Root of Nightmares raid, this one guy on the fire team, he was the absolute worst. He would just be like, I'm doing this, without talking to anyone about it. Complete narcissist, right? Which is why he's got kicked out of the clan right now. If you're watching this, you know who you are. You suck as a human being. Like, just legitimately you suck as a human being, Jay Boogie. You're terrible. So, glad you're out of the clan. Good stuff. Anyways, getting back to this, you want to have those foods prepared, whether it be a sandwich, whether it be you just want to have a plan ready to go so you can just reprioritize, get back to that kind of thing. So, that's what we're basically doing today. We're preparing a little bit of food. So we're taking, like I said, the pork that I have frozen that was defrosted. We have a lot of black bean noodle paste, or black bean paste in general. We're going to use that. We have Chinese noodles, not JajaMyeon noodles, which are basically the exact same. They're just thinner or thicker depending on who you talk to and all that kind of stuff. We have onions, and of course we have green beans. Now the reason why we have green beans is because I need to use them up. I'm about to go grocery shopping, all that kind of stuff, and I need vegetables in this dish. So we're going to get prepared. We're going to start chopping up this stuff, and we're going to start prepping up everything. So let's begin. How's everyone doing right now? Is anyone in chat? Have they been playing Destiny 2? Have they been kind of enjoying it? What's the vibe? What's the vibe check right now, right? But yeah. So, so we're going to cut off the ends of these green beans because I don't want that hard, fibery kind of thing. And then we're just going to chop it down to like a nice small size, but not make it ridiculous. So basically I like to chop a green bean typically in thirds so they'll be big enough. So that's really easy, like I said, right there. And then just grab another bunch here too. Okay, there's that. And then final bunch, handful bunch of green beans. Just gonna chop that up real quick. And then we're gonna move on to the onion. And that's basically all you really need to cut. This is why I love this recipe so much, is because you don't have to do much and you're ready to cook, right? In fact, what I should be doing right now is, yeah, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to start boiling the water for the noodles because that's how fast everything's going to go in a little bit. So, going to go grab our pot of water. Vegetables are chopped up. We're also going to start turning on the stove, so that it can start to preheat and all that kind of stuff. Get ready for that. And One of my favorite things right now is these prep dishes. So I'm going to put the vegetables over here. Get off my cutting board. Yeah. Right. And then I'm going to take my onion and start cutting this up. Now, if you've had JajaMyeon, you'll see like big chunks of onion. I don't personally love big chunks of onion, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to cut them up like I usually cut them up, like very, like sliced. I don't know how you would describe that. Words are no good for me today. I'm just coming off the campaign, just finished it, had a great time. You know, it's really good. So there's that. Now, nutrition for gamers is a very weird topic because a lot of my gamer clients will talk to me about like, hey, what are your thoughts on sups like Advanced GG and all that kind of stuff? I'm like, listen, it's great. It's a beverage. I'm glad you're staying hydrated. It's really good. However, I don't think they're really necessary. I think if you're, like for me, I drink a ton of coffee throughout the day, so that's all I need from a stimulant standpoint and all that kind of stuff. But I personally, I don't recommend them. I don't advise them. I have nothing against them. I just don't think they're necessary, and it's just one of those things where I'm like, do we really need this right now? Is that really what we're doing? So, yeah, that's how I feel about the Advanced GG subs and all that. Whoa, we got 5 people in the chat we're in the group right now. So, hello and welcome. Say hello. Someone said something. I can't see the thing right now, but I'm glad you all are here. This is wonderful. This is really cool. It actually means so much to me that you all are here. So thank you very much. This stream I've been doing for about like 2 months now, and it's been growing quite like I'm happily growing it. About to do some announcements very soon to talk about what topics I have coming up in the future for the month of June. A roadmap, if you will. Destiny fans will know exactly what that's like. And, just kind of make sure that people are tuning into episodes that they really want to watch and like avoiding those if they don't. But I'm always happy to cook for you, you all and share everything that I do from a nutrition standpoint and wisdom standpoint. So if there's any questions right now, please hit me up in the chat. We'll see what I can answer and, what's beneficial for you all to hear, But just chopping some stuff up and getting some garlic done, obviously, because garlic, staple flavor, so good. So we're just chopping this up real quick, just mincing it. We're going to put that in at the end. Now, like I said, I don't have all the groceries I need. There's supposed to be some sesame oil. Don't have sesame oil right now. I finished it. I thought I had more, but don't. So I'm going to have to get more sesame oil sometime soon. Probably tonight. But, yeah. Okay, just chopping that up. Doesn't have to be too good, too minced or anything like that. It just needs to be chopped up. So it's going to mold the flavors a little bit better. So I've got my water boiling. I've got my pan heating up and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to take the pork. We're not going to really do anything with it. It doesn't need seasoning beforehand. A lot of the flavors are going to be accomplished in the actual cooking process. So that's what I really love about this. You don't really even have to prep up anything. You can just go like literally your meat from the fridge to this recipe, and it'll work. It'll work really well. So, bring this over here, and all that kind of stuff. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone's day going? The weather's beautiful. I'm feeling really good over the last little bit. Been having a lot of fun. Been, doing a lot of work, growing the stream, all that kind of stuff. It's been a good few weeks in the world of Ben right now. So very happy to say that to everyone right now. So welcome to everyone here. Anyways, so in the scenario, for example, where you're gaming and it's like, for example, we're starting. So for the final shape raid, I forget what it's called, but it's starting. It goes live at noon. So my fire team and I, we're gonna log in at noon. We're gonna play until we probably like 11. Let's be perfectly honest, because after that, unless we're doing something that's brain dead, trying new mechanics it's not great. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have a good sleep so that we're fresh at it tomorrow morning, and all that kind of stuff. So making sure that you eat properly is definitely going to help you sleep properly, help you recover a lot more. Because one of the biggest things is after like a hardcore gaming session where it's like long hours, what would happen is typically you're pretty dysregulated. You're not able to sleep. There's a dopamine just like flood that was happening in your brain the entire time. So what you want to be able to do is make sure you sleep well, right? Which is why I also tell a lot of gamers to avoid carbs at nighttime, because carbs at nighttime will spike your insulin levels, which will affect melatonin from binding properly and working properly, and therefore affect your ability to sleep. So that's why typically I don't like advise people snack on carbs after dinner. Typically speaking. Now, that is seasonally dependent. Right now it is June, it is Pride Month and all that kind of stuff. So we have longer days. So you can snack a little bit later, but I typically wouldn't go past 9 p.m. with carbs depending on which region you're in. The rule of thumb I always give people is the moment it goes dark, you should stay away from carbs from a snacking perspective. Shift your focus more to proteins and fats if you're hungry, because proteins and fats are actually going to keep you full if you eat those. So having some protein and fat-based snacks like tuna, snack tins and all that kind of stuff with minimum amount of crackers. If you have protein bars, nuts, jerky, all that kind of stuff, those are really, really good snacks at nighttime, because the number one rule is you should eat if you're hungry. But knowing what to eat is the biggest thing, right? That's when you're going to succeed and do better at nutrition. So after nighttime, generally, rule of thumb, I give people, general rule of thumb, is just try to stay away from carbohydrates after dinner or at nighttime. That's a really, really big thing. It's gonna you might notice yourself sleeping a lot better, because that's really, really important. And waking up the next day, you're eating a high protein breakfast again, you're having lunch, you're doing all the things all over again. It's really, really important to make sure your nutrition's good, because I don't know about you, but it affects me quite a bit if I don't eat properly. I'm grumpy, I am not patient enough, and all that kind of stuff. I want to be the best version of myself for my fire team so that we have a good time playing this, because whether or not we get the clear, it doesn't matter. It just matters on how much fun we're having doing the contest mode and all that kind of stuff. And that's what's important to me at this point in time in my life. If you get ultra sweaty, ultra competitive, you can bring out the worst version of yourself. And if you're a super immature person that can't ever apologize, and you're a narcissist, like Jay Boogie is, then you get yourself kicked out of the clan, and your friends don't like you anymore. So, good stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna bring you all over to this side now, this side of the kitchen, and we're gonna start cooking up the pork. So come with me, and you'll see a world of GoPro inebriation. Am I good? Oh no! Did it get disconnected? A little bit I did. Crap. It was bound to happen eventually. Alright. There we go. I'm back. I am back. Alright, awesome. So, what you can see here is this is my pan. I've got it going. I'm going to cook up the pork, like I said, dry basically. Put in some oil there. We're going to put all the pork in. Now, put in a little bit of water there so that I can let the pork is still a little bit frozen because it was frozen solid, but now it's like, you know, letting the water kind of steam it a little bit and then fully defrost. Well, it is cooking. Now what I'm going to do is put some salt and pepper in, just because, you know, it's nice and easy to do that while it's cooking like this. So that's what I'm going to do to season it just a little bit. But like I said, you don't need a lot of seasoning in this. You really, really don't. I'm actually going to put in the garlic to make it seasoned up a little bit, add some flavor to it. But right now I'm just going to let it sit. And garlic going in. Flavor. Black pepper. Oh, I didn't turn this on yet. Black pepper. Salt. A little bit of soy sauce. Not too much, just a little bit. And cooking wine. So I have some rice Korean cooking wine. I'm going to add that in. Okay. Now I'm cooking a lot because I want a lot of leftovers so that I can basically have it and reheat it at my leisure. So that basically when I am hungry, I could just reheat this, eat it, do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. We're going to cook this, and we're going to let this cook halfway, and then we're going to add the vegetables in, believe it or not. So this is one of the few things where it's like, yeah, you don't have to saute the vegetables. In fact, that's not what you're supposed to do in the real recipe. It's like a stir-fry vegetable kind of situation more than anything else. So you're not supposed to get them like super, super soft. They're supposed to have some al dente bite to them, right? So that's why we're adding in the things later. And right now I'm just going to put the lid on while it's steaming up a little bit to let it cook a little bit better, right? So we're going to do that. The water is starting to go. Now, like I said, I'm using Chinese noodles because that's what I have. So we're just going to cut this thing open. These are just regular wheat noodles made with water. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, it's one of my favorite noodles. We're not going to boil too much of it because I don't want like noodles sitting in the fridge going kind of weird to reheat. So I'm just going to cook what I need now, and the day of, I'm going to cook a little bit more in the morning, mixed up and all that kind of stuff. We have our black bean paste, which, you know, this is what it looks like. It looks like black bean paste. And we're going to also, this is another jar that I got of it too, because this is not going to be enough. You need actually quite a bit to make JajaMyeon, to get the flavors and all that kind of stuff. If I was to cook half of that, it'd be roughly half a cup that I need. So I'm probably going to use basically something close to a full cup today when I'm cooking this. I'm going to make sure I have a spatula ready to go because I want to be able to get everything out of this container and into that pot. And what I'm going to do to loosen it up a little bit, because it's a little dry, is I'm going to add some water to this and let it separate a little bit more. Now, this should be hot water, so I'm just going to boil that hot water real quick. But I'm just going to let a little bit of water sit in here so that I can get the black bean basically rehydrated a little bit, because it's been in there for a good amount of time. Good amount of time. Not a long, uncomfortable amount of time. Like, this is definitely still good black bean paste, but it's been there a while and it's starting to go really, really hard, and, you know, don't want that. Don't want that at all. Because it's going to make the cooking process a little bit easier. Right. Alright, so cooking, we're heating up stuff. This is a super easy recipe. We're already 30 minutes in. I'm done talking about all the nutrition stuff. Now, one thing too is if you're wanting a more concise video about this, last year, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I made an official video on what this nutrition and video gaming looks like. Not a lot has changed. I'm just doing a live streaming version of it today to make it a little bit more fun. And yeah, that's what we're doing today. Okay. Wonderful. Look at all this pork. It's cooking up. Now, like I said, you want it half cooked, so I'm going to start adding the vegetables in relatively soon. And it's okay if this is like different timing than the noodles actually being done, because of course you can add that all together in a little bit. But yeah. Do. That is done boiling. Gonna add that to the black bean paste. So that's kind of getting there. That's kind of getting there in terms of the pork. Like I said, this is a very fast recipe. You can use any kind of protein you want. You could use tofu if you want. You could use chicken if you want. I personally don't like the way it tastes like with chicken. I like the way it tastes with pork or beef. So that's what we're doing. We're using ground pork right now because it's one of my favorite things to buy from Costco, because of how much it is and how easy it is to cook and how many recipes that I can use it for. Remember, because like a lot of Asian food uses a lot of pork, and I predominantly cook Asian foods, so it works. It works for me. The pork is half done, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the vegetables in. This is just onion. It's just green beans and all that kind of stuff. We're going to add that in, and then we are going to cover it up a little bit to finish cooking off the pork, but also we're going to start adding our black bean sauce in relatively soon. So we're just going to mix this up so it's nice and distributed. Put the lid back on to let the steam kind of really bring everything up to a internal good safe temperature. And then, believe it or not, we're more or less done once the noodles are done cooking. It's super easy. I'm actually going to start preparing up the dishing portion of it, like what kind of bowls I'm going to use, all that kind of stuff. I do think this bowl would work out quite well. I love this bowl. It's you know, started buying some Japanese ceramics and all that kind of stuff a little bit last year. Started a little bit of a collection because I don't love the current plates that I have, but that's okay. We're growing, right? We're doing things and we're just growing. It's a good time. Do I have any Destiny players in chat right now? Any gamers in chat? Anything like that? No? That's alright. One of these days we're going to get these shy watchers to actually participate, but that's okay. I get how it's like. I have social anxiety a little bit. I've gotten much better with it with my therapist, but I do still have some social anxiety, and it does make things a little bit tricky, especially when it comes to streaming. But you know, it's day to day. We're working on it. That's why the stream schedule is not bigger than what it is right now. but I am going to release a roadmap for next week, so be prepared for that. You heard it here first, people. Okay. It's looking good. I'm going to add the black bean paste now. And remember, I put a little bit of water in here, hot water, to kind of loosen it all up. And get everything nice and out of this package so I could get rid of it. There's that. And like I said, you're going to need quite a bit of it. So I have my jar here. I'm using a spoon. See, this is how it's supposed to be. The one I had was a little bit dry. I'm going to have a good, generous amount of this. No rhyme or reason how much. Largely, like roughly 1 cup. And yeah, let's start there. And get that off, off. Start mixing this around. Start mixing this around. Hey, Bruce! My dog just woke up from his nap. Bruce doesn't like it when I stream, because I take over his kitchen, the place where he normally eats his dinner and drinks his water and all that kind of stuff. Bruce doesn't like change. He's a grumpy boy. That's okay. I love him. He's a complete sweetheart. Alright. Now, traditionally, you put potatoes in here, and the potatoes, the starch, is actually going to help thicken up a lot of the sauce that you see here, the black bean sauce. But because I don't have potatoes, I don't like potatoes in these kind of dishes. I think it's weird to have like one carb with a different kind of carb. So what I'm going to do is do a cornstarch slurry to thicken it up. It's a very Chinese kind of tactic that is used, so I'm going to teach you all how to do that in a little bit. But right now I'm just going to mix this up a little bit more, and then I'm going to put the pan or the pot on, the lid on, and then we're just going to cook it a little bit more and let those flavors meld together. But I think that's enough. That there. The water is boiling. I'm going to start cooking the noodles. Now, I, from a portion perspective, use 2 of these bundles. It's roughly 1 cup. So that's how much I'm eating tonight. There's that. Oh, the cornstarch slurry. Cornstarch. Here it is. Cornstarch. You get a small bowl, like so, and then I'm going to use about a tablespoon, like a big tablespoon. We'll use 2. 2 tablespoons. Now, the trick to making this a slurry is you want to put it in cold water before it hits the heat, because once it hits the heat, it'll start thickening up. So, cold water. The cold water, we're going to mix up that cornstarch real quick. Hold on. There we go. I'm just going to mix that up, make sure there's no clumps and all that kind of stuff. I do have a mini whisk that I am contemplating using right now. Yeah, let's use the mini whisk. Mini whisk. It just works. Having the right tool for the job just makes everything so much easier. So much easier. All right. So that is nice and combined. You can see my noodles are cooking. Or maybe you can't. It doesn't really matter. But they are doing their thing. So, just got to separate them. You got to keep it separated. And, yeah, once that's done in about a few minutes, the pork should be done. And then we're able to plate. And that was, like, with all my chatting, with all my rambling, that was roughly like 10-15 minutes, to be perfectly honest with you. As long as you have everything prepped up, everything's good to go. Super fast dish, super delicious, super tasty. Alright. Yeah, they are black bean noodle, the black bean sauce, black bean paste. So, of course, the color is going to be black. Duh. A lot of people don't like this color for food. I think they need to open up their minds a little bit more because it's about flavor, right? And this is intense fermented black bean. It's got a lot of good flavor to it. So, and here's the great thing too. You get a lot of pro and prebiotics coming from this. There's a lot of good nutrition in here for sure. And it's a super fast dish, super tasty. You should definitely try it. You should definitely try it. Now, all the... I'm going to throw some water in here because it's looking a little bit dry. Now, the thing with the cornstarch slurries is you want to put them in toward the end of cooking, not the beginning. Because if you cook it, if you want to get the flavors to where you want them to be, and then you want to put them in, because then it'll thicken up, and then you stop the cooking process. If you overcook the cornstarch in there, it starts to burn, it starts to separate, it starts to become a not good product. So keep that in mind if this is your first time doing cornstarch slurry. Okay, so this is nice and mixed up. It's looking beautiful. It needs a little bit more water. That's okay. Awesome. So could you imagine if I was doing this and not streaming right now? I'd just be doing this super, super fast. Be within one game, within like one Iron Banner game or something like that. I'll be back on screen and I'll be able to eat and all that kind of stuff. It's a super fast recipe. I highly, highly recommend it. It's delicious. You only need a few ingredients. And look, we're done cooking right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the slurry. We're going to put in half of it first and mix it around and see how thick it gets. If it needs to get thicker, then I'll add more in. But right now, because the cornstarch doesn't add flavor. Well, I mean, if you know what flavor you're looking for when you eat it, then yeah, you'll be like, oh, there's a flavor. But generally speaking, no. There's not a lot of people that can tell apart the flavors. All right. That is looking beautiful. All right, we're not going to put the rest in because that's already thick enough. It's going to catch the noodles. It's going to do its thing. What we're going to do now is it's done cooking. Believe it or not, it's done cooking. So in order to keep it warm, in order to keep it nice and good, I'm just going to put the lid on top. We're going to turn off the temperature. Wait till this is done. Once it's done, we're going to strain it out. Once it's strained out, we're going to plate it up, we're going to eat it, and then see if there's any questions, concerns. But if not, then I'm just going to go back to the game. I'm going to get some grocery shopping done later tonight. Yeah, that's going to be my day. So it's a nice and fast stream. Like, this is what I was talking about. Like, in terms of foods that gamers want to consider, put this on your list because there's a lot of healthy ingredients in here. And you could be prepping it up a lot in advance and really make sure that you're treating yourself well. So if you're a Destiny 2 player like me and there's a raid that going on this weekend, you're going to be there. First of all, good luck. I hope you have a good fire team. I hope you don't have any crybabies on your team and all that kind of stuff. People that are emotionally well adjusted. And everyone has their limits. If you make a mistake, if you're getting irritable, if you're getting grouchy or anything like that, it's fine. Just apologize. And have a good apology. Like, I'm not... just... Everyone's going to make mistakes. It's completely fine. It's the people that make mistakes and don't apologize about them. They're the ones that suck. So don't be like that. Treat your fire team good. Treat all that kind of stuff good. Everyone's there to have a good time. Sure, people are looking for clears and all that kind of stuff, but everyone's there to have a good time. Don't be the reason why people hate you. Don't be the reason why people are having a bad time. Don't be complaining all the time. Don't be like that. Just like, you know, own your crap. That's it. So, this is done. What we're going to do is we're going to strain it, and then we're going to put it in the bowl, and then we're going to put some of the stuff in, and then we're going to eat it. And I'm going to pull you over to that side, and, you know, that'll be all right. So, actually, let's do that right now. Let's pull you back over to this side of the room, because I like this side of the room a lot better. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect this time. Boom! Yes, it didn't disconnect. All right, awesome. All right, so we're back on this side. The noodles are finished. They're done cooking. Strain out the liquids. It's not working so well. I'm just going to do this. You know what? I didn't want to do this, but it looks like I kind of have to. Strainer. All right, so it's a good amount of noodles. I'm probably not going to eat this all, to be perfectly honest. It's a good amount of noodles. All we're going to do now is just plate up, and that's done. That's done cooking. So I'm just going to bring this over here so y'all can see. All right. Let's just clear this out. I don't need this cutting board. I'm just going to put this here. I'll clean it up afterwards, after I'm done streaming. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to plate it up. It smells really, really good right now. It really, really does. I'm not bullshitting you. There was times where I was bullshitting you. I'm not bullshitting you this time. This is really, really good. All right. Boom. You like that? Kirk Cousins. All right. Being said, it's time to plate up. This is how easy it is. Listen, this is how easy it is. You just get a serving spoon, and you just literally, this is all you do. Listen, that's it. Put it directly on top. It's going to do 2.5. Basically, that's it. I'm going to put this back on the stove, just so it's a little bit out of the way, so you can see what's going on. And we're going to add some kimchi to this. All right. I'm so happy to have everyone watching right now. This is so cool. This is like been one of the best, most fun, creative processes I've ever done in the world of nutrition. So I'm very happy that the people that are watching are here, because truly, truly, it means so much to me that you're here. It really, really does. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to get some green onion out of my garden real quick. I'll be right back. All right, fresh green onion. It's been hot, so they're bolting a little bit. It's fine. Put this back in here so we can chop them up. Present this real nice. All right. Now, little green onion on top. Boom! JajaMyeon. You should be aware, I probably shouldn't say boom. That's someone else's catchphrase. You know what I should say? Boom headshot. Done. We're good. Boom headshot. Improving off of an OG. Emerald Lagasse. Full on OG. Okay. So, black bean noodles. I'm going to take a photo first because I gotta, do that kind of stuff. And, it was on selfie mode. All right. Got some photos. I'm going to eat. And, all right, beautiful. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a few bites, make sure everything's good, and, we're going to make this a little bit more often, but I hope everyone that's gaming right now, because summertime is really, really good for games, and I really like that because I hate spending a lot of time out in the sun because I don't like sunscreen, and objectively I need sunscreen, but I don't like sunscreen. So I try to stay out in the middle of the day and all that kind of stuff. So this weekend or next weekend it's going to be a little bit different because I got a beach thing to go to. But for now, let's just have some of the black bean noodles. Look how good that is. Like, oh, come on, man. If you don't like this, GTFO. You need to try it. You just need to try this thing. This is so delicious. Just mix it up just like that. And then you're done your dinner. Like, this is so good. You have all the protein you need. Could there be more vegetables? Yeah, but you know me. There's enough protein, there's enough carb, there's enough everything. And this was so fast. This was done right from the beginning with you all. This was with me rambling. Without me doing the rambling, without me doing the streaming thing, I have definitely cut this down to about like 15 minutes. So it's really, really fast, really, really nutritious, and it's really, really delicious. So let's get some of this out. Let's try this. All right. It's so good. Easily one of my favorite things. Favorite dishes in the world. It's so easy. It's so tasty. You really need to try it out. So, anyways, that's it. That's the stream tonight. It's really, really fast. It's meant to be, hey, let's talk about nutrition real quick for gamers. Let's do a stream real quick. Yes, I have to go grocery shopping. And yes, I will be gaming later on tonight. So if anyone in the clan is watching right now, hit me up. I'm done the campaign. Just have a few more quests to do to get the exotic to open up and all that kind of stuff. Very happy to be gaming with everyone and just happy to have this a part of my life. So if you're a millennial like me that is having troubles with nutrition or anything like that, or just like are a gamer and want some advice with nutrition, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification icon and all that kind of stuff. We do this, we stream every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time is when we start. We cook food, we talk nutrition, and one of these days when the chat gets busy enough, I might not have to cook food anymore. I might just be so having to engage with chat. But from now, until then, good luck grinding, good luck gaming. Did you finish the campaign? DM me. What did you think? I have my thoughts. I'm not going to talk about them Because I don't want spoilers or anything like that. But I think it's a good, I think it's, yeah, I'm not going to talk about anything else. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to eat the rest of this off stream. Please like, please subscribe, please comment below what you'd like to do. Say something silly. Tell me what you'd like to see the next time I stream or anything like that. We're going to have a roadmap out pretty soon. So if you have episode recommendations or topic recommendations, it will most likely be visited in July. But either way, we've got a lot of great content for you. Today's episode was very, very short. That was done on purpose because I want to show you how fast we can cook something healthy, nutritious, and getting back to gaming. So this has been from Evolve Sport Nutrition. Thank you so much for dropping by. Hit like, hit subscribe, do your thing. But I'm just going to go eat this. I'm going to do some grocery shopping. And I'm going to be back online tonight playing some video games. So have yourself a good time. Have yourself a good night. Be cool to each other. And remember, at the end of the day, it is just a game. The way you treat people is not the game, though. So that being said, hope you all have a great raid race. Have a great time. Hope you're all prepared and all that kind of stuff. DM me. Let me know what you're running. I'm running Hunter, believe it or not, for the day one. That's the plan right now. But yeah, I'm going to try to get my Warlock and my Titan up to snuff, just in case they're on standby, ready to go. So thank you so much for watching. Good luck with the raid race this weekend. If you have any more questions, rewatch the stream, obviously, but also check out my other videos. There is a Nutrition for Gamers that was posted for the Witch Queen stuff like 2 years ago. Not Lightfall. Lightfall was a disaster. Lightfall sucked. Like, let's be real. Lightfall sucked. It just wasn't. It was not this good. All right. It was not this good. So, anyways. It's so good. Okay. I'm going to stop being weird. I'm going to stop ranting now. See you later. Bye.